I mean, our impact is not only internationally. I mean, I think with the name of World Hunger Relief, it seems like we're only kind of doing things internationally. But I mean, as an organization, we have many partners in Waco, and we work actually a lot in Waco. We have specific interns that work in the school district of Waco doing garden clubs. So I think impact that way, I think, is touching young kids. Raising awareness about food, how it's grown, science education, stuff like that. So I think locally we have impact on hunger solutions as well in Waco.
I would say one of the main goals of this farm is to train interns to send out, whether it's to Waco, whether it's to another part of the U.S. or somewhere internationally. Here are more like practices or techniques about farming, you know,
like this little, what's it called, the
biointensive gardening. Yeah, it's
cool.
definitely one of them. I think, you know, just key things as far as like conserving water, mulching, you know, soil conservation, things like that are really key in what we learn here. As interns have responsibilities here that challenge us to problem solve ourselves when things go wrong, and not be given like the exact solution or the answer, because it's going to be different everywhere you go. Well, I think the idea of like redemption and like redeeming things that have been used and maybe are just laying there, you know, and reusing that for a different purpose, I think is a beautiful image that we kind of develop here. Is appropriate technology. Like, you know, we have these tippy taps around now, like using recycled like containers, and they're basically hand washing stations. We've made rocket stoves here just out of like things that, like tin cans that we get from eating every day, and stuff like that. So I think using our resources, you know, problem solving,
in a smart way.
Yeah, definitely, it's a different type of living. Whereas like I think we've totally, like as an American society, have lost touch of where our food comes from. You know, like one thing that we do when we have groups come is we have them butcher a chicken. We have them make a meal without using any conveniences like a microwave or even a stove that you just like flip a switch and there's fire. You know, keeping a fire going is something that we don't really even know how much effort it takes. It's something that we do, like everyone does around the world, but I think it definitely is a different type of living, and I don't think everyone should or could live this way, but I think it's more raising awareness, and I think that ties in with the local aspect of Waco's. Not only are we educating, but we're also raising awareness of, you know, sustainable living, good practices, being good stewards of the land. I don't think we're necessarily disconnected or try to be at all, and especially because of we do work inside Waco in the school district. If anything, I think we're well aware of what's going on, especially hunger-related, poverty-related issues in Waco. I think it's different when you actually live it and you actually see it happen right in front of your eyes. I think before coming to the farm, it was something that I just knew, and it was hard for me to find a huge importance in some of the things, just because it was inconvenient, you know. Working with animals every day, and, like, knowing what's going into our garden, like, you know.
Knowing where your food is coming from.
Exactly. I think that definitely keeps me more in touch and aware, and find more the importance in why.
I feel like more spiritually in touch with your food and everything.
Yeah, like I think so. I think one of the main things I feel that way about is like butchering a chicken or an animal. Like, you don't understand the sacrifice of a life until you see it, until you like have like warm blood, sticky blood on your hands, you know. And I think that just kind of correlates even with, like, you know, the sacrifice of Christ. Oh, it's actually really comforting having like families living on the farm with us.
Because they have full families who just left, right?
Right.
Really cool.
And so yeah, so 2 of our main staff live on the farm with us, and I mean, it's definitely good to have space, you know, from work and living, and sometimes even a struggle as interns, you know, having separation of work and living, and living with the people you work with is, you know, different. But as far as like power struggles, or if there's, you know, any fear of authority or any of that, no, I think
pretty direct.
Yeah, I think everyone is here to learn, and that's the beauty of the farm is, you know, everyone's open and no one's kind of has their guard up about like the definition of community living.
That's really awesome.
It's that like dying to self every day. It's that knowing and being intentional about living in a community and humbling yourself every day to accept people for who they are, and also challenging them for who they are too. And I think when that goes full circle and we can all do that to each other and for each other, I think that's what makes it work, and we have fun all along the way. Wake up and I do the chicken chores. So we all have different farm-related chores, and so we can do that in the morning, or depends on what time, or when you're supposed to do your chores. So I wake up and do my chicken chore. Go to Devos at 8, so 30 minutes of Devo, and then we have also like a community chore that helps keep like the ed building and the dorm like clean. So we do 15 minutes of that, so it might be like 15 minutes of dishes or 15 minutes of like sweeping. And then our work day technically starts around 8:45, and so there's like produce interns that head the like garden crew, and then there's livestock interns that head the livestock crew. And so usually there's a handful of people in each, and I'm usually in the garden crew. We work from 8:45 to about 12:30, and one person from the community makes lunch for everybody, and so we all eat lunch together. As far as what we do in the farm, as for fun, is we have game night. We play wiffle ball together. We'll have like dinners together, stuff like that. They're really impromptu, random. So this place is pretty wired as far as this building has Wi-Fi, dorm has Wi-Fi, executive director and farm director has Wi-Fi. We have TVs, but it's more like for a community to watch movies. We don't have cable.